Optimus, welcome to Portugal.
Thank you.
And now, after being in bands like Audioslave and Soundgarden, you now release another solo album. Do you think your solo music better reflects your musical persona?
No, it's just another piece of it, another part of it. It's the same focus going into it. Like I'm writing songs for some particular vision, so it's like if I'm keeping in mind a band, for example, like Audioslave or Soundgarden, and thinking, okay, who is this band? What do they sound like? Writing for a solo album, it's more sort of like, well, what is this album? What does this album sound like? Or whatever, what do I like about music and writing songs? And as a fan of music, that I would like to be able to hear myself doing, or to be able to then go tour and perform that, or stuff like that.
Is that why you went in a completely different direction now?
Yeah, I mean, part of it was sort of by accident, kind of like just fate in a way. I was really looking for some remixes, and the subjects, it bounced around through different people. I actually had a meeting with a few different people, and Carry On, which is my second solo album, that has the theme song from Casino Royale on it. That songs are pretty chordal, like my first one, of pretty complex. They don't lend themselves to remixes. There's like 17 chord changes. It's sort of hard to do like a club mix out of that. So I was having trouble finding anyone that could do it, actually, because it's not that easy. And Timbaland's name came up as someone who kind of might maybe get into the complexity of it, and who was into rock. And so that led to discussions about doing original music, because he wasn't really interested in doing remixes, but he kind of wanted to do something new. And I thought that seemed like a good plan.
And how was it?
But I didn't like, I didn't see doing one or two songs. I thought, let's just go make a whole album. And that the reason why it was something that was, in a sense, by chance, was just that concept of I want to make an album, and hearing that he makes albums like in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, he's like super focused. I'm the same way, and it's really, really hard to find people like that. It's almost impossible. Everybody wants to take 5 years. So that was a big part of it too. We literally got in the studio and wrote and recorded 20 songs in 5 weeks. And eventually, because of we got along really well, and the creative freedom and openness, it became like a 6-month project where it's an hour of continuous music. It's like one song, really. The music never stops, but not like in a DJ mixed it together way. It's actually sort of elaborately composed pieces of music that connect all of the songs. But that happened later. But I just really like that initial thought of, let's just commit to go in and write and record an album without, I don't know you, you don't know me. We're from different musical backgrounds, different periods of music, different culture, different geography, everything. And that commitment to okay, we're going to go in, we're not going to come out until we're happy and we've made something that we think is a great album. And then the rest of it was, I think, just really good for me in terms of the fact that the writing process was so different, the recording process was so different. Because I've made so many albums by now, and I can easily go in without any problem and kind of do whatever I want. And it was really, I think, a good time for me to go in and do something where I really had to sort of forget everything I knew about writing and recording and learn a whole new way of making music. Because to me, that helps me sort of add it to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, that I can bring all of these different influences together. And the more that I learn as a songwriter and a recording artist, and the more sort of different genres that I get into, I think the better chance of some type of truly original work comes out of a person that way. It's really there's that invisible sort of barrier that people refer to as genres that kind of exists, and it's sort of like clubs. You know, people want to know where they stand. You know, they recognize their friends by what records they like. You know, that kind of thing. And I think that that's sort of something that people really go through at a certain age. But musically, really, for me, for music to be really interesting, I think that it's important that it doesn't necessarily immediately fall into a specific category, whatever it is that you're doing. I think that the records that people have had a difficult time describing to me are the ones that I've liked the most. You know, if someone said, it's punk pop, you know, and I'd be like, okay, I feel like I know what that sounds like, and I'm probably not, unless it's the best punk pop anyone's ever written, I'm probably not going to like it that much. But if it's like, you know, someone has to really get descriptive, then like if you were going to try to describe Sigur Rós or something, and how would you do it? You know, and then you get into this deep description about what it sounds like, and because there's no real specific genre. That to me is sort of I guess the long-term goal is like being able to, you know, feel comfortable in any genre I want, so that I can just, as I feel like it, put them all sort of together in different weird Frankenstein monsters and make albums out of them.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.